Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm acting as Robert Swanigan today.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is that?
A little bit of a delay.
Facebook delay.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's over.
Do we have everybody?
We are live and recording, so I think everybody's here. I know Mike Scoggin just signed in via audio, and I see the entire committee. So you all are good to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Devin.
Thank you. Okay. Who would like to start?
You want to go first, Polly?
I can, but if you all have other things you'd like to pipe in before, that's fine. Nobody else? No takers? Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for joining me on the committee meeting, our August scheduled committee meeting for the police committee. And I know it has been a really difficult time for everybody. So I just really want to thank you all for everything you've done. And I know Chief Bossy and Chief Swanigan, I've been in contact with Chief Swanigan. And I know the past couple of weeks have just been incredibly hard. So I really want to thank you all for your service. How is everybody holding up at the police department?
I think they're doing very well given the conditions. Got a good crew of people, and I was proud of their professionalism.
Yeah. I had heard about the road rage, and that was just unbelievable. About the round going down the back of the woman who was sitting out front at Applebee's. That was just, oh my gosh. So I know you all have just been so slammed. So I just so appreciate that. After the last meeting, I wanted to get a little more feedback from our citizens. And as you know, we're in very much unprecedented times that, we cannot, meet in person. And our citizens, have not been able to come to council meetings. And the best way that I have found has been to, reach them through, they email us, but also through Facebook. So I put together a little Facebook poll, after our last meeting, not an official poll, but just to gauge people's, where people were coming from on it. And on my page, I think I have about 330 followers, and I had 53 people respond, which was very good. I've done prior surveys and had 1,000 people that I sent it out to and maybe got 20 back, surveys on other things. But I had posted a little bit on my site and shared it with the, council as well, but I can just go over some things. And, as I go along, please stop me if you have any questions. The first question was, do you think the Georgetown Police Department is adequately funded? And I would say about 80% said no, definitely it's not funded. And my second question was, should the city of Georgetown increase the pay for police officers up by $8,600? I said this will bring them up to average pay for the cities the size of Georgetown. And I had, I knew the number would be substantial, but I had 90% that said yes, that they needed to be increased by $8,600 an officer. And, I asked questions, what are your thoughts about funding the police department? 42% said cut back on existing spending on existing budget. 23% said additional 911 fees to the cell phone bill. That has since changed. It would be on the water bill. Almost 4% said annual fees for home alarms. 10% said take money from cash reserves, and 20% said other. Level of service in the police department, 73% were very happy. 11% was other. So, and the needing a drug task force, 73% said yes. A traffic division, 66% said yes. And my final question was, are you concerned that officers with experience are leaving the PD? And there was an overwhelming 94% to that. So as I know people have been posting and going back and forth on Facebook, it's just really reached the crisis level. And I know we have talked before about, ways to fund it and different strategies to go. And I know we're going to talk about the 911 service fee tonight and learn a little bit more about that. And talking to the public and just getting a sense of what's going on out there based with our, being in extremely bad economic times, the worst since the Great Depression, as well as, violence increasing. And kind of what I'm hearing for everybody is they want to see our officers and our first responders be brought up to average now. They want to see them have their salaries increased to average now. And they feel, as I do, and I'm sure all of you all do here, that, our first responders and our police are way above average. They're not average. They go above and beyond. So, I'm just, putting that out there. I'm one of 8, but that's what I have been hearing from people, that we do that. And then in a prior meeting back in May of 2017, and this was brought to my attention, and I had 3 other people suggest this to me. So kind of the things that I'm telling you, are things that have been suggested to me by taxpayers, members of the public, who are just very concerned about the situation. And they have said that, somebody brought up about the May 2017 meeting, Mayor, where you brought up, and I thought it was a really good idea about, the money that we've used from the general fund for Lanes Run Business Park, about doing a bond, perhaps to reimburse the general fund for those expenses. And I think that's a really good idea. And I know, we're talking about doing things sustainable. And I know the, taking money out, the Cardone sale money, perhaps might not seem sustainable, but with a bond issue. And then also after the first of the year, we're going to have a really good idea where things stand financially. And I know the Finance Committee has talked about that in meetings, and you've talked about that too, Mayor. There's so much up in the air right now. And, I would just like to see us, go forward and use the best tools that we can. But something that I've been reminding people about, and then this is the last thing I'll say and let you all chime in. But, the Toyota incentive that was done back in 2015 by Governor Beshear, I think our city, we've really been doing very well, considering that we were down 2.5 million from 2016 to 2019, 2020 to 2023. We'll be down $1 million less per year. But after 2024, our payment will be, or what will be down is $325,000 per year. So after 2024, things seem to open up. So we're just pretty much in the, we're kind of in a bad time right now. But these are just things that, the citizens have brought up to me, and I'm just bringing them up to you all. And I would really like to hear what you all have to say about it. And I really appreciate your all's time and energy working on everything with our police department and first responders. So, anybody want to say anything?
I have a couple of questions when we're ready to ask the chief. But if there's anything back that anybody wants to say back towards what you've just reported before then, that'd be great.
I think if you want to go ahead and ask the chief, or do you want to speak, Mayor?
I was just going to say the decreased Toyota incentive is a real thing. And you may recall in our financial analysis that we provided for the council that really looked at all this data, we pointed out the pension costs that were known to increase going into the future.
Mhm.
And we gave you a couple of charts that showed how the decrease in the Toyota incentive package was going to be completely eroded by increased pension cost. So it would be nice if that was found money, but we in our analysis, we pointed out that that's going to be more than taken up by the increased pension costs, which are known at this point.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Do you want to ask your questions, Tammy?
Sure, thanks. I just had a couple questions, Chief. I was wondering if, first of all, you could just update us on, I had three different things I would like, if you don't mind, to talk about, and just update us on the Marks Street shooting, and then on the McDonald's carjacking, and then on the Applebee's shooting. I would love to just hear, I know the preliminaries, but I would love to hear what you have to say about the ongoing investigation there.
We are, of course, those are all three active cases, active investigations. The Marks Street shooting and the carjacking are both related to investigations in Lexington. We are working very closely with the Lexington Police Department. As a matter of fact, our officers met in Lexington this morning, our detectives, for a briefing on those cases. So we're also watching closely the issue at the mall because it involves also a gang of individuals that fits the profile of some of these other incidences that we've had.
So you're saying that part of some of the related to the shooting at the mall could be related to some of the stuff in Georgetown?
We're looking to make sure that we're covering every avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to say the mentality's about the same. I don't want to reveal too much, but we're absolutely looking at all possible angles. And I think the key is we are working with Lexington. And we do know absolutely that the shooting on Marks and the carjacking were both related to activities in the city of Lexington. So
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And do you know any more about the, do you have anything that you can report on the Applebee's shooting?
we are still looking for witnesses and video. Obviously, that was a road rage scenario. But I think that Polly's analysis was correct, that we're very fortunate that wasn't a worse situation with the population in that intersection, and no one was struck.
Right. I wanted to ask you too, Chief, to the best of your knowledge, are you aware of any link between the approving of the needle exchange program in Georgetown and the recent criminal activity in the last 2 weeks?
Absolutely not. I am not aware of any. I'm not aware of any link. And I would say that our contact with the health department on a fairly regular basis really shows us that the needle exchange is doing what it's supposed to, and that is linking people up with resources, not just treatment resources, but housing, all those obstacles that get in the way of sobriety. Yeah, I think the needle exchange program's working the way needle exchange programs work, and we see absolutely no link.
Thank you. And then the only other question that I have right now is, piggybacking on what Polly had to say, I asked you this at the last call meeting for the police committee, and I wanted to ask you again, if we gave a raise in the amount of $500 to or even $1,000, how do you think that would go over with the police officers. Could you let us know how you think that would go over?
Yeah, it's easy. It would be an insult. That kind of, for the performance that these people are operating at, and their diligence in being at work and never having a single day off during this pandemic, I certainly don't want to be the person to go to them and say, well, here's your reward for doing that.
Okay, and I just wanted to let you know too, Chief, that I think I've already shared this with you. I know I've shared this with Chief Swanigan as well. The consensus of the people that I speak with throughout the community is that it's time for us to do something. They appreciate your hard work. The case that was laid out before us by the mayor and the people that worked on this comprehensive study was well received by the public. The public is behind you, and I believe that I've told you that. I want to tell you every chance that I get, and I just wanted to let you know that citizens, I walk all over town, and people ask me often, what can you do for the police department? What kinds of steps are you all looking at taking? And there seems to be a genuine support for us taking some action and for us to show you all what you mean to the community. I just wanted you to know that.
We absolutely appreciate that, ma'am. Absolutely. And we stand by the comprehensive study that was done professionally and diligently, and the numbers in there are good numbers. So we stand by that as well.
And for now, that's all I have.
Okay, I did have a couple of questions, couple of comments. I have a lot of people ask me, Chief, about our homeless situation and having more homeless in Royal Spring Park and downtown. What do you think is causing that?
Yeah, most of that population, there's another root problem to being homeless, and that is their dependency on alcohol or drugs. And so our best case scenario would be to hook those people up with the proper resources, which I'll take the opportunity to say this, that if we were properly staffed, we would be doing that. We would be finding our homeless population, and we would be connecting them to resources to help with the collateral issues that occur when you have a homeless population. It scares people to see people camping in their backyard or camping in a wooded area in the park. Properly staffed, we would have a group of police officers that worked on that issue.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just something I have noticed so much more, and I think you said it, with the drug and the alcohol problems and issues. And I was going to ask, this is probably for the mayor, is there a way we could get some information on the needle exchange, some numbers from Dr. Miller? I've had some other people ask me about that. It would just be helpful. Does she do a report every 3 months or something like that?
I'm sure she'd be happy to give us update on the numbers the people reached.
Okay, good. And also, we've talked about the comprehensive plan that was done back in earlier this year, January, February. And I know, so much work, was put into it, and it was very well done. And I have it on my coffee table, and I go over it a lot. I really respect that report. The hard thing is we have just been in unforeseeable times with the COVID virus, the unemployment, the wave of violence that has just risen up everywhere. So, I totally respect that, but I think, times have just unfortunately changed so much. And, I really thank God every night for you all, for our first responders, our police and our fire, for everything you all are doing, because I cannot imagine being in your shoes. And somebody had mentioned something to me, Chief, about Water Street on Friday night, I think it was. Someone had passed out in a car, and the street was blocked. Is that correct? Chief Bossy? Oh, he's muted. You need to unmute.
I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with that particular call, but I'll get the information on it. That was Friday night.
Yeah, it was Friday night on Water Street. I've got a picture. Somebody texted me of it and just asked about that. So that's why I was asking you. But I really appreciate the report, and and on the homeless, I think it's gotten so much worse everywhere too. But that's all I have right now. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to bring up?
I would like to ask Chief Bossy if he has anything he would like to ask us. I mean, this is a two-way meeting, so.
Obviously. He's free to speak anytime, Tammy.
No,
Don't put the tag on him.
as you know, I'm very comfortable with the group here and working with the group. And I think everybody that I'm looking at right now on the screen has a sincere interest in the city of Georgetown and the police department. And I think you're exactly right. These are challenging times, and there's difficult decisions to be made. But I do believe everybody's heart is in the right place.
I do too. And, at the last council meeting, I think, people come from different directions, but I think, everybody that I know is in 100% support. And, and I think now more than ever, I think just now more than ever before, you have our support and our prayers and just everything. So thank you. Well, do we, if we're done, do you all want to just close this meeting and get ready for the 6 o'clock council meeting? If there's nothing else to be said or any other questions?
Sounds good.
Y'all good? Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you guys at 6. Thank you so much. Get something.